Hit the subscribe button right now for a face reveal as soon as we hit 100k. Let me connect to your hotspot. So, I was at the hospital with my family at 1 AM because my little sister, 2.5 years old, was having a very bad cough. I pulled out my phone as I had nothing to do there, and it was at least a 30-minute wait before the doctor could see us. Now, my older sister was not a part of the data pool for our family yet, so I hotspotted her so that she could keep her 2 GB for times when I'm not there. We must have had our conversation pretty loudly because a woman comes up to me and asks if I could hotspot her too, because she needed to make a WhatsApp call to someone. Being sleepy at 1 AM, I just said yes and asked for a phone so I could enter the password. Oh, just tell me the password. I don't feel comfortable giving my phone to strangers. I get that, but in the same way, I don't feel comfortable giving strangers my password. Come on, you can trust me. I promise I won't do anything. Sorry, but I won't do that. Fine. Her tone suggested that she was doing me a favor by using my data. She hands me her phone and I enter the password. She walks away, and 40 minutes later, again I was sleepy as anything and lost track of time. When my parents are with the doctor, she walks back with an iPad in her hand. Enter the password on this too and be quick about it. No, I only allowed you to use it for a call. Just shut up and connect it. It's not like you need all the data to yourself. Hey, I tell my older sister to not get involved. I knew how to handle her since I knew about this sub. Then an entitled kid gets involved. I want to watch a kid show that I can't remember now. The entitled mother says to her entitled kid, just a minute. Now look what you're doing to my kid. Just give me the dang password. Enough. First off, it's my data and I can do whatever the heck I want with it. Secondly, you said 1 call for 10 minutes, not 40. Lastly, I'm turning my network off. My older sister was just listening to music, so it wouldn't bother her. Watch your tone with me and I'll just play it on my phone, which is connected, and if you turn it off. Now, I thought of something to annoy her further. Fine, I won't turn it off. That's what I thought. She walks away and plays some kid stuff on her phone, and as I hear the video playing, I turn my hotspot off. Mummy, make the phone work. The entitled kid starts whining, screaming, and kicking her entitled mother. She fends off her hexborn and angrily walks towards me. You idiot, turn the Wi-Fi back on. I'm sorry, I think you have the wrong person. Shut up, smartass, and turn the Wi-Fi back on. I'm sorry, Mom, but I don't recognize you. You must have the wrong person. I'm calling security and getting you kicked out. Okay, Mom, you do you. She comes back with the security guard and says, he's the one who stole my phone, arrest him. Is this true? No, and if you want, I can show you why. I proceed to tell him the specifications of my phone, the color under the case, the backup password, how it unlocks with my fingerprints, it has a redacted network SIM card, the wallpaper, how it had my school ID card in the card holder on the case, and I told him all the contacts on the phone since I have 15 contacts which are all family and 3 close friends. Also, if he called the contact sister, it would call my sister's phone who was right next to me. No, he changed all of that. My phone didn't have a lock. Okay, ladies and gents, I just want to stop this right away to point out some fantastic entitled mother logic we've just come across. So according to this entitled parent, in just a matter of minutes, this guy managed to change almost everything about this phone. Now she says the phone didn't have a lock and he put a lock on it, which is perhaps believable, but what about the backup password, the fingerprint, the network SIM, the wallpaper, his school ID, and the 15 contacts which are all his family and friends? 11 out of 10 logic once again. Entitled people, I salute you. Then I say, then whose phone is that? I point towards her hexborn who had taken her phone out of her pocket and was trying to play a vid. That's EK's phone? What about the iPads? Look, she has an iPad which is probably in her bag and was used by her entitled kid, I say to the security guard. The security guard asks her to show the contents of her purse, which she hesitantly did, and it revealed an iPad. Shock horror. She was asked to leave the building, but she begged to stay as her kid was sick and needed a doctor, so the guards let her stay, but she was seated in a different area than me. My parents then subsequently came out of my little sister and we went home. Haven't been to the same hospital since, as it is in an area with such people, but it was the only one open at 1 AM that day. I feel like this post wouldn't be too out of place on r/choosing beggars. Like, this woman clearly has enough money to afford an iPad and her own personal phone, but can't be bothered to spend a little more on some mobile data. Oh, actually, on that note, let me know what subreddits you would like to see apart from r/EntitledParents in the comments below. Upon hitting 100,000 subscribers, I plan to broaden my horizons slightly and incorporate more subreddits onto this channel, so let me know and you might see yours in a future video. Entitled Mum tried to take my £160 AirPods and my £200 BMX bike. So I was 13 at the time and I really liked doing tricks on my BMX bike. I still do. So one day after school, me and my friend decided to go to the local skate park. It was a normal day and my friend showed me a new trick he had learned. It was a really cool trick and I wanted to give it a try, and then that's when the entitled mum comes in. The EM thought it would be a good idea to let her son play football, soccer for Americans, in the skate park. So the entitled kid inevitably kicks the ball right in front of me as I was building up speed to do the trick. My front wheel rammed right into the ball, sending me flying, grazing and badly bruising my arm. Luckily, my bike was fine, but the football had been popped. The entitled mother and her entitled kid both ran over to me. The EM started yelling at me, and this is how the conversation went. "Look at what you've done. My son just bought this ball and now it's ruined." I'm in pain, remember. I'm sorry, but your son shouldn't be playing football here in the first place. At this point, she started shouting even louder, so I turned the volume of the music in my AirPods up. Now that is a great anti-Karen tactic. Whenever someone's shouting at you, just turn the volume up in your headphones. Nice one. "Don't tell my son where to play football. He can play wherever he wants to." Yes, she actually said that. Okay, so based on that logic, he can play wherever he wants, so that means in anyone's house that they don't know, in a church, in a shopping mall, wherever, it just doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but it's true. I apologize for your son's ball, but it was not my fault. Shut up, you little female dog. You know what? You should give my son your headphones and your bike as compensation. At this point, I really was trying to stay calm. No, I paid for these with my own money, and it took me over 4 months to earn the money for these, by doing chores and cleaning for people in my neighborhood. Also, keep in mind that my parents normally buy things for me, not in a spoiled way, but these meant a lot to me as a result. The entitled kid says, "Mum, we should go home. It was my fault, not his." Exactly. But the EM says, "Shush, he will give you his stuff." Okay, so although this kid has been labelled as entitled, this makes me think that actually he seems quite normal and innocent. At this point, EK had had enough. He shouted to his mum to leave me alone and to stop asking me to give him my stuff and that they should just go home. Good kid. EM was furious though. She grabbed my bike and tried to ride out of the park, but my friend stopped her. Now, my friend was the best rugby player in my school and he was really strong. In the end, I got my bike back and me and my friend went home chatting and laughing about how stupid that was, and I haven't seen the entitled mum or kid since. Yeah, I completely agree with this comment from Teal Likes Teal. She definitely got what she deserved, but yeah, I feel bad for the kid. He's not entitled, he's innocent, just with a horrible, crazy entitled mum. I hope you get on Redditor. Well, on Redditor you are. Now, before we end today's video, I just want to quickly mention this question that I need your knees posted on my subreddit. Does anyone else want to meet an entitled parent just so they can roast them? Now, this is actually an interesting spin because a lot of the comments I get are, "Wow, I'm so fortunate that I've never met an entitled parent before." But what would you do if you actually met one yourself in the wild? Would you use some of the tactics that you've seen other people use on r/entitled parents from the stories that I read out, or would you do something else? It's certainly easy to roast them with the benefit of hindsight when you look back on how entitled they are, but what would you do in the moment? So anyway, leave your suggestions of what you would do if you actually met an entitled parent in real life below in the comments, and I will heart my favorite ones. Everyone else can like their favorite ones as well, and we will see which ones are the most popular. For me personally, I think I would just try and be as sarcastic as possible and make them feel completely uncomfortable in their entitledness. Or maybe I just embrace their entitledness madness and make them think it was okay just for the fun of it? I don't really know. What would you do? Let me know. It all depends really on whether you want to take the mick out of them and make fun of them, or actually stop them from being entitled and make them realize how entitled they are. Oh, and also for those of you that have met entitled people before, let me know how it was and tell me what you did to combat them. Anyway, that concludes today's stories. Once again, remember to subscribe. We are so close to a huge milestone that I never thought we'd get anywhere near. I also want to give a quick shout out to my patrons who you can see on screen right now for supporting the channel. If you want to see your name on the outros like this, then get involved. Link is in the description.